In the king's other hand was a large sword made of wood. Just to see it all made me grin. 2 other players, dressed as women, knelt before the king and held up their hands, as if begging. "O great King Solomon!" one of them cried in a loud, high-pitched voice. "That sweet babe is mine." No sooner did she say this than the piglet let out an unruly squeal. That sent the crowd into loud laughter, in which I joined. Then the other pretend woman cried, "Not true, beloved king! It is my beautiful child." The piglet gave yet another scritching scream, which pleased the crowd even more. My empty stomach hurt with laughing. In a loud voice, the player king proclaimed, "Since I am the great King Solomon, full of noble wisdom, it is for me to decide to which of you this child belongs. Since you both say this babe is yours, I shall cut him in twain, so each may have half." He lifted his sword. "Yes," said one of the women, "that's the wisest thing to do." "No, no," cried the other woman. "Don't do that, O great king. Let the child live whole with her, rather than cut him in two." "Aha," said the king. "Surely true love always champions life. Thus, a woman who does not wish the child to die must be the real mother. I say, let her have it." With that, he handed the piglet to the woman, who caused the beast to squeak and rank so much it broke free, and the king and 2 women had to scuttle madly to catch it. This prompted the crowd to the greatest crowing of all, in which I joined with utmost glee. These players retired behind the castle cloth, but 2 others came forth, including yet another who was meant, I think, to be God the Father, because a halo was fastened to his head, and a white beard was tied to his chin. Another man, called Noah, held a goblet and acted drunk. Though God warned him a great flood would come unless he stopped drinking, this Noah drank anyway, so God dumped a filled piss-pot over him. The crowd roared. Oh, how I adored such jests! Finally, 2 men came forward and began to do a jig as the musicians played. The most nimble was the player king. The other players, in their costumes, walked about with hats, begging for coins. The interlude over, I pushed through the crowd, intent upon going on to the bakery. The comedy had filled me with joy. It was only when I stepped back into the high street that I realized a friar had followed me and now stood staring after me. I recognized him as a Dominican priest, of the order known as Black Friars, because they wore black cloaks over white robes. He was a tall, sinewy man, his pate shaved on top, tonsure style. He had a smooth, narrow-headed and sharp-chinned face, piercing eyes, a long nose, and small, somewhat pointy ears. Pale hands, which emerged from his black cloak, were clasped piously over his robes, while his delicate fingers suggested he pushed pens, not ploughs. On his slender feet he wore sandals. I recalled having seen this priest at Tackley's tavern any number of times. He always made me think of a sleek hunter's hound. But this time, the way he stood there looking at me suggested I was a rabbit, which he had a mind to catch, cook, and eat. Refusing to have him dull my spirits, I gave him no further heed and continued on to the bakery. But I shall tell you true, if this priest had never seen me, my life would have been very different. 2. Having gone to the bakery, I walked back to Tackley's, carrying a full basket and chewing a crust of bread.